video. Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Beast Wars Dinobot. Take a look at this bad Dinobot right here. Now, some of you guys may or may not know, but Dinobot is actually my favorite Transformer. I love this guy to death. So in saying that, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can when it comes down to this review, in the character and in the figure itself. How well I pull that off is questionable, but we'll see how well I do. So a little information about Dinobot. Dinobot is originally a Predacon who worked with Megatron to steal the Golden Disc, to future the better development of the Predacon cause. However, upon reaching Earth, which they did not know it was prehistoric Earth, Dinobot thought Megatron made a big screw-up and saw him as an incompetent leader. In addition to that, Dinobot just doesn't like Megatron. See, Megatron and Dinobot have two different philosophies when it comes down to the Predacons. Dinobot views the Predacons as a honorable warrior race, while Megatron sees them as a race that are destined to rule and conquer. Thus, Dinobot challenges him to leadership, but Megatron then has him swept away by Scorponok, who backstabs him, and Dinobot kind of just disappears and goes, I don't know, Gotham or something like that. Eventually, though, Dinobot meets up with the Maximals, and he challenges Optimus Primal for leadership, stating that under his command, the Maximals will defeat the Predacons. And quite honestly, that probably could happen. I mean, most of the Maximals would die, but, I mean, he would probably win. But Optimus Primal does accept his challenge for leadership, and the two fight. It comes to a draw. A lot of people say Primal wins. A lot of people say Dinobot wins. I say it's a draw because both of them had each other at one point, and they spared each other. And Dinobot then helps out the Maximals take out Megatron, who found a big energon deposit of energy. After that battle, Dinobot joins up with the Maximals and gives the Maximals what they desperately need. Two things. One is a frontline warrior, a pure frontline badass warrior, which they were limited on, and then second, someone that knows the Predacons and knows Megatron. And Dinobot on a whole was a very loyal person to the Maximals. They didn't like him and he didn't like them, but he was loyal to them in their cause. That was until Season 2. See, in Season 2, Dinobot finds out they are actually on prehistoric Earth, and he realized that there's still an opportunity for the Predacons to have honor and to become a respectful faction again. So he then defects back to Megatron, only to find out that there is no honor left in the Predacons, and that the honor is really in the Maximals. He then redefects back to the Maximals and becomes loyal to them once more. However, there's a lot of tension between the group. And Dinobot, while loyal to the group, no one really likes him anymore. I mean, Primal is tolerant of him, but in general, the group don't trust him. However, Megatron has found the cradle of life, the place where all human life is going to come from, and Dinobot is the only Maximal in the area. Megatron orders his troops to attack the cradle of life, and Dinobot nobly sacrifices himself to ensure that the human race is born. And he does so by single-handedly defeating all the Predacons. Not one, but all the Predacons. From Waspinator to Megatron, from Quick Strike to Rampage, from Black Arachnia all the way to Tarantulas. He fights and defeats them all. And in the very end, after beating Megatron, he has no energy left, and he gives the last of his energy to destroy the Golden Disc to ensure that no one ever uses it for evil again. And then he dies. Redeeming himself in the Maximals, and the Maximals realizing that he was more than just a warrior and that he was a hero. And his death scene had to be one of the best death scenes I've ever seen. His last words were beautiful. Tell my tale to those who ask it. Tell it truly. Ill deeds along with the good, and may I be judged accordingly. The rest is silence. Absolutely beautiful. Really great death scene. And he does redeem himself as a hero. Eventually, Dinobot gets cloned later on, but I'm going to do that in a separate review because it's pretty much a separate character. Personality. Well, Dinobot is a warrior, true and true. He is a samurai, for lack of a better term. And he has a tremendous amount of honor. That's the most important thing to him. Not so much factions, but honor. And I like to compare Dinobot to that of Worf from Star Trek, in that they're two individuals who are incredibly loyal to their cause and to their affiliation, but they have incredible honor that often conflicts with that. Look at it this way. And some people are saying, I don't get how you're making this comparison. Dinobot is a Predacon. Dinobot has incredible honor and believes in the Predacon cause for them to be an honorable warrior race. Worf is a Klingon from Starfleet who has incredible honor, who believes in the Klingon traditions and the culture and them being a warrior race. However, the Predacons are a corrupt group who want to rule. The Klingons are on the border of causing war with everyone. And often their ideologies of this honorable affiliation is not there. Worf often gets going back and forth between being a part of the Predacons and being with the Starfleet. Not the Predacons, being with the Klingons and being with the Starfleet. Wouldn't that be funny if Worf was with the Predacons? That would be quite hilarious. And then you see Dinobot often going back and forth between the Maximals and the Predacons. That's because these people truly believe in their cause and believe in their factions as being honorable warrior races, but realizing they're actually corrupt to the core. And in the end, realizing that their place are with Starfleet or the Maximals. And that is Dinobot. He makes bad decisions, mind you, but it's all in the end for honor. It's all for the better good. And like I said, he's a hero in the end. Powers and abilities. Well, Dinobot, ability-wise, is probably the best hand-to-hand combatant melee fire in all of Beast Wars. Optimus Primal may have more armament and weaponry to him, and Megatron may have more strength and brute power, but Dinobot is without a doubt the most skilled warrior in all of Beast War. He is incredibly skilled in hand-to-hand combat. He throws punches, kicks, knees, grapples, elbows, tosses people around. If you get in hand-to-hand combat with Dinobot, you're going to lose. And that happens many times. It happened to Megatron, it happens to the Predacons, it happens to many of the Maximals. You get into hand-to-hand combat with Dinobot, you're not going to win. Even in swords fight, Dinobot is incredibly good at swords fighting. Probably the only one close to being his equal is Optimus Primal, who fought him to a draw. And that's only because the fight never continued. It had to end. But Dinobot is an incredible sword fighter. Dinobot has 3 weapons. He has his spinning sword. I'm showing you it like it's actually here. It's not. He has his serrated spinning weapon, which I call the meat grinder. And then he has his I-beams, his only projectile weapon, which normally aren't as strong as everyone else's projectiles. However, he can push in more internal energy and actually make them incredibly powerful, but it drains them. This was a result of his death when he put the last of his energies in the I-beams and destroyed the golden discs. So Dinobot has a lot of skill. He may not be the best projectile-wise, I mean range-wise, but in hand-to-hand combat, he was unstoppable. Unstoppable. And an incredible asset to the Maximals. So let's actually get into the figure itself. Dinobot's alternate form is a Velociraptor, and one of the more useful beast forms in all of Beast Wars. You know, him, Megatron, Primal, Rhinox had beast forms that could actually be used in combat, where like you're not going to have Pterosaur or Air Razor fight in their beast forms. I mean, they could try, but it's just not going to be good. And for the figure itself, the beast form is, well, it's there. The best way to describe it is this top section of the beast form looks good. It does. And then you look at the belly, and you see all the robot kibble. And then you see the robot kibble on the head right there. Dinobot's beast form is definitely not the strongest thing to the figure. It's actually the weak point, because the beast form has a lot of robot kibble. It's hard to really have Dinobot's actual character design work in a toy without it actually being a masterpiece figure. Or a leader class or something. It's just, there's too much detail in the actual robot mode to justify the beast mode being detailed too. You're going to have one of them suffer, and the beast mode was it. So the beast mode could have been a lot better, but whatever. So I'll transform him, and I won't really show you the transformation because people have probably shown it to you a million times. I'm going to focus more on the figure itself. But Dinobot's transformation is actually quite easy. I mean, it's actually a little detailed for his class, which is, I think, a deluxe class. Beast Wars had a different ranking system for sizes and transformation than the other ones. A lot of us have been going by the movie standards like Leader, Voyager, Deluxe Class, but I think it was Deluxe, Ultra, and Basic in Beast Wars. Like I said, I've been kind of out of the loop on Transformers recently because, well, they haven't really had anything to offer me. Nothing has been spectacularly good looking to me. In addition to that, I just don't have money. I wish I did. By the way, I'm going to be removing the mutant head because I don't like the mutant head at all. I don't like the mutant heads on any of the figures. But let's transform him there. Get them nice and presentable. And there we go. I actually have two Dinobot figures. This is my loose one. And here is Dinobot right there. And like I said, I'm going to try to be unbiased as I can, but this is my all-time favorite Transformer figure. Is it the best figure? No. But it's still a good-looking figure. There's actually 3 to 4 to 5 Dinobot figures, but 3 major ones. There's the original, there's the 10th anniversary one, which is this, and then there is the Japanese 10th anniversary, which is supposedly more detailed. But I don't think so, because in the Japanese one, his pattern is like a spot pattern, and in this he has the lines, which is what Dinobot had, lines, not spots. I mean, the only thing that they got right in the Japanese version is they gave him a mouthpiece, which didn't even look that good, and his legs were right. The legs are clearly inaccurate here. But besides that, Dinobot is fairly accurate, 80% I would like to say. And he's a good-looking figure. Putting all biasness aside and saying that this is my favorite figure, mostly because he's my favorite character, is still a good-looking figure. What I like is it has a very nice bulkiness to it, a nice muscular bulkiness. You know, these big arms, these big shoulders, the big chest. He looks really badass, really intimidating, because he's a very bulky figure. For his weapon, you just take the sword. There is a hole right here. You stick the penis in the hole. There we go. And the sword fits around just like so. And then you take the serrated meat grinder weapon and you put it in here. And there you go. And you just press this button. Ooh, look at that. Special action. Good for the kiddies. But yes, that is Dinobot. Take a look at him. Like I said, he could be a little bit more accurate, and he may not be the best Transformer figure out there, but for me, he's my favorite, near and dear to my heart, and putting all of my favoritism aside, he's still a good-looking figure, and a fantastic character. Very honorable character, and I really like those honorable characters because I uphold myself to a code of honor myself. I uphold myself. Yeah, anyways. Great looking figure. Take a look at that. Just nice. And I'm sure you guys have seen him many times before in many different reviews. Even in my reviews, I have done Beast War reviews before, but it's still a great looking figure. Keep on moving off screen. And do I recommend getting the figure? There's a mutant head. It fell. Yeah, I do recommend getting the figure. I don't know how much they are right now. I got these when they first came out. I would want to say it's around $30. Might be more. I could actually check right now online. But, yeah, the figure I would definitely recommend. You could probably go to Amazon or go to eBay and get it for fairly cheap. Probably cheaper on eBay, depending. I mean, I don't trust eBay as much as I trust, what is it called? Amazon. But, you know, eBay, you're probably going to get it cheaper there. Let's see. Looking it up right now. You know what's great about having the webcam is I can go on the internet now too. I don't know why it brought me to this. But do I recommend the figure? Definitely. I think it's a good figure. I think he's a good character. Here we go. Dinobot. Ooh, wow. This goes for $50 online. That's ridiculous. Yeah, and the original actually goes for cheaper, $49.99, and the repaint goes for $44.99. But yeah, wow, that's expensive. But $50 may be pushing it. Go on eBay to get him. But he is a good-looking figure. I really do like him. My favorite character. And I loved Beast Wars. Beast Wars was my favorite show. It had a very adult feel to it. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. Dinobot, I would try to find him if you can, because like I said, he is a good-looking figure. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.